So I hope you had a chance to try the second challenge. I'm going to take you through the steps now so that you can see how I recreate this exercise. We're going to start by creating a new score using a blank manuscript paper. We're going to use letter paper in portrait orientation with the unchanged house style. I'm going to change instruments and add a piano to the score. We're going to use a cut time signature and add a quarter note pickup bar. The tempo text is moderato, and there is no metronome mark. I'm going to choose the key signature, C major. The title is The Entertainer, and the composer is Scott Joplin. Go ahead and create the score. Now, before entering any notes, we're going to visit the Appearance tab, the House Styles group over here, Engraving Rules, and on the Staves page, we're going to adjust the space between staves up here at the top to 8.5 and click OK. Now I'm going to begin inputting the notes and objects. So I'm going to select the first beat, move my mouse out of the way, and I'll use a combination of a few different note entry methods here. I'll start with some alphanumeric note input, but at some point I'm going to be jumping on my MIDI keyboard to use step time note input, and I'll let you know when I do that. So in alphanumeric, I'm going to choose an eighth note, D, and move that down an octave, and add a sharp, and add another D. Then we have an E, quarter note C, up an octave, eighth note E, down an octave, quarter note C, up an octave, eighth note E, down an octave, C, up an octave, tied over to a half note C. Eighth note rest, C, D, sharp, D, E, C, natural D, E, tied over to another E, B, and now I have a little bit of an interval here, a quarter note with a staccato, and I can do the G with the number 5 to get that fifth above it. And we're going to do a half note with no staccato with a rhythm dot. Let's add the accent, put in the E, and let's add a sixth interval to that. Take off the accent, eighth note D, sharp D, and here I would probably use some copy paste. I'm going to add some bars, Command B. I'd probably copy this passage right here and paste it in right here, just to speed things up a little bit. I have to add a rhythm dot to that note, so I'll add a rhythm dot to that note, move myself over, eighth note A, G. Going to add a sharp, F, A, C, accent E, tied, remove the accent, E, D, C, A, half note dotted. Let's do a natural F, and let's go ahead and add a sixth to that. And if I don't want that natural sign on that D, I can escape once and press that natural to remove it. My arrow to the right, eighth note D, sharp D. Now, it might actually help at this point to set up the layout of your score on the screen to match that of the PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to escape out of note input, and let's get this set up so it's looking a little bit more like the printout. So I'm going to add some more bars. I know that I need a system break right here. So I'm going to add a system break. And this will help my eyes jump from the paper back to the screen a little bit more easily. So I need 4 bars here in this system. And I need 4 bars in the bottom system as well. I don't need these extra 3 bars, so Command click, Shift click, and delete. So now my eyes can jump a little bit more easily from the page to the screen. So I'm going to start back here in bar 9, and actually I have some of this material already, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab it. We can actually grab it from right here and copy and paste that into bar 9, so we don't need to re-input that. And let's start right here in bar 11. Eighth note E, C, natural D, E, tied over to E, B. Let's do a quarter note staccato F with a sixth above it, and a dotted half note with no staccato with an accent. There's my E and my sixth above it. No accent, let's toggle that off. Add an eighth note, C up an octave, D, and this is kind of a fun little passage here, accent, E, remove the accent. C, D, accent E, remove the accent, tied to E. C, D, C, accent E, remove the accent. C, D, accent E, tied over, remove the accent. E, C, D, C, accent E, remove the accent. C, D, accent E, tied over, remove the accent. E, B, quarter note. F with a sixth above it, and dotted half note with an accent E. Whoops, I pressed C, I'll move it up 2 and add a sixth above that. So our top line is looking pretty good. I have to go back in and add a few things like a slur here. I also need a dynamic marking, so on that D, Command E, hold Command and type P and escape. Looking through this, we need a hairpin here, so select the C, H for hairpin, space that out a little bit. We need a forte marking on that E, Command E, hold Command and type F. Right here, we need a piano marking again, Command E, Command P, and we're looking good. We need another hairpin here, H for hairpin, space bar. We need a dynamic marking of a forte there, Command E, Command F, and escape. We need a slur, S for slur, and we need another slur right there. Here I missed my accent, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. Shift H gives me that decrescendo marking, and I'll space that out. And I need another slur right there. Looking at this, I need a piano marking here, Command E, Command P. We can do H for hairpin, move that through with a space bar, Command E, F, and let's make sure we do a slur there as well. Right here, we're good. We need a fortissimo marking, Command E, F, F, and the last phrase looks good. So now I'm going to focus on the bottom staff. For most of this, I'm actually going to use my MIDI keyboard because there are a lot of intervals and chords, and I think I can type those out a little bit more quickly in step time. So I'm going to start right here. Tell Sibelius where I'm going to begin. Going to choose the quarter note value in my keypad and press the note on my MIDI keyboard. Great, I'm in the right octave. And so these are just simple quarter notes, so I can just play the notes as they go along. And I need a staccato. And it looks like we didn't put our system break in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right there, right now. So that's looking pretty good in that top line. Looks like we might be able to use some of this material again. So I believe this bar, I can copy right into this bar. That looks correct. I can use at least the first 2 notes of this bar here. And then I need a quarter note with a tenuto marking, E, E flat. Great. And then I need to remove that tenuto and add an accent. I need a quarter note with a rhythm dot. And let's see if I can play these notes in. And now I need the same notes with an 8th note. So I'm going to select an 8th note and play those again. And press the tie button. And change it to a half note with no accent and play those notes again. There we go. This is a really long spread on this note, so I'm going to choose a quarter note with an accent. Find those notes on my MIDI keyboard. And play them like that. And then I have a tenuto marking, no accent, with a little walking bass here. And remove that tenuto marking. And I think we can do some more copy-paste again. So taking a look at bar 9, let's see if we can take some of this material. I'm actually going to take all of this material, copy that, paste it in here, and then we can just re-edit it. So as we go along and compare it to the printout, this note here needs to be a C up an octave. Great. And that looks good. And this is a little bit different. This is just a C down an octave, and that has a 4th above it. That note up an octave with a 4th below it. We have one more line to finish down here. We have some half notes, so let's go ahead and select that and choose half note with an accent. And I'm going to go ahead and play these notes in again, moving over to my MIDI keyboard. And a quarter note. And I can fix that note if I'm incorrect I'll get a few of these wrong, actually. And here we go. Last 3 notes. Let's do some editing of these. My MIDI keyboard is not in the most ideal of places. I recommend setting it up ergonomically so that it works a little bit better for you. And that looks good. That looks good. We don't need an accent there or there or there. That needs to move up 1. I'm just using my arrow key. No accent there. No accent. No accent. And we'll leave that accent in. So that's the process I used to create this challenge. My method is just one of many ways this could have been approached, and I actually used several methods within that challenge. I don't expect you to complete this as quickly as I have, but with some practice, you are certain to improve. And now that we're at the very end of this course, let's let the music of Mr. Joplin take us out.